So thank you everybody for being here. We are really excited. I was really looking forward for having this moment with all of you in order to talk about the AI for decision makers in advanced manufacturing. And of course, let us give some context before we dive into the program. My name is Alejandro Martinez. I am one of the co-founders of Bold New Edge. I've been working with the innovation ecosystem for the past 10 years, where we have been, along with my team, we have been putting together many initiatives that are around helping the companies adopt the new technologies, exponential technologies. And one of those subjects that we often discuss between companies, manufacturing companies, researchers, startups, and other innovators, it was about Industry 4.0, which, by the way, Livio, I know that not everybody is aware of this, what it means. It basically means the possibility for the companies to use all the technologies that are available in order to modernize their systems, in order to modernize their processes. So this is what we've been doing. And this gives us a little bit of feedback, or not a little bit, but a good understanding of the market and the industry also, and help us to understand where there was a need to give some support. And it was at the making level, because of course decision makers are aware of the technologies that are being developed, but on the day-to-day basis, they are focusing on so many things, and they need to be more aware of how to leverage these technologies in order to take advantage of those and make the best out of those for their companies, so their companies can become more productive. So I'll stop it there, because I want also give the people to the opportunity to understand better where you come from, Liviu.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that, Alejandro. Quick sort of snapshot background. My name is Livio Abrescu. I am the head of business development for Bold New Edge. I come with a background from purely technology. I've been in the telecom industry for the past 10 years. I migrated to research and advisory, specifically around the AI side. At the time that I moved there was a lot of buzz, and there still is a lot of buzz around AI. And what I did there is really helping those mid to large enterprise company identify some of those key aspects of where to implement AI, and really at the same time sort through what is really an AI initiative and how to really apply that to their plans, to their adoptions, and migrated from there into basically social media, digital marketing, but with an emphasis on really getting AI to target those specific demographics of individuals that will really, really have the highest propensity to buy the product that you're advertising to them. And with that, one of my personal goals within this year, and one of the main reasons that I actually joined Bold New Edge, alongside really believing in what we're doing here, is the conversation that I had with Alejandro and with Andy around really getting back to our homegrown roots. Me specifically, I wanted to make sure that I get back into the Canadian marketplace, start helping those Canadian companies, and really the conversation hit sort of like a peak when we really agreed on a lot of the points when it came to AI adoption, and specifically AI adoption within the manufacturing industry. The Canadian side of it is, for a lack of a better word, it's behind the eight ball right now. It is not really keeping up with U.S., with Asia, even with Europe. Right? We took a look and did a market analysis when it comes to the adoption rate of AI and the implementation rate of AI, and it was abysmal, right? It was 3.7% in Canada, right? A lot of manufacturing companies are not leveraging that. Alejandro, you mentioned like a certain percentage that the US and Europe had compared to us. What was that?
Yes, and was shocking, because we all know that Canada is a powerhouse of two things: manufacturing and also of AI. But for certain reasons, they catch up with the technology at the level of operations is being minimal. 3.7 is not much. This is the official rate. Of course, there are companies that are far more advanced. Of course, there are others that are far behind, but the average is 3.7 is not much compared to United States. They are the ones that go to the head, and their level of adoption is 12%. So it is a huge gap between us and themselves. And then also we look at Europe. Europe is at 9.7, I believe, and it is very close with Asia. With Asia, of course, it might be China, the one that gives the big advantage, but for sure the others, Japan, Taiwan, and the others, must be really really advanced. And Livio, it was very nice when we started talking to you and we're telling you like the reason that why we put together this program, because we strongly believe that Canada deserves to be better, to do better, and we have all what we need in order to be better. There's no reason why we keep behind and falling behind every single year, uh, compared to the rest of the countries. We have the talent, we have the technology, so it's just an order for us to put it together. So that is the reason why we put together AI for decision makers. And well, this is the reason why people join us today in order to hear more about about the program. Livio, what do you think if we go and we jump on discussing more about the program?
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes down to the adoption rate, we really saw that it was abysmal, 3.7%, and really the goal was to meet the companies where they are on their journey to adopting AI into their organizations, and we really wanted to think about. Uh, First of all, we wanted to think about the plan. Second of all, the strategy that they would use. And third of all, we really wanted to build an ecosystem around ourselves that actually supports the companies and our clients at every stage. All right. So Alejandro, if you can toss up the quick slide in regards to our coalition, so I can walk through that real quick for
I started
participants.
sharing the screen, the presentation, Livio. Could you tell me if you can look at it? Are you showing
Yeah,
my screen?
I can see it
Okay,
nice and clear.
awesome. So let's go to the thing that you were talking about the national coalition that's behind this initiative.
Yeah, anytime that there's initiative, you know what, it takes a village to raise a child. So when it comes to specific initiatives like Bold New Edge and its AI for decision makers, uh, we really wanted to make sure that we have support structure from clear across the way. And we have some really fantastic partners, Concordia, Centronic, CMC, all of these partners and digital are designed to provide different stages of this ecosystem in a real world environment. All right. From my conversation in my past roles, I really realized that there was a confusion of where to really start, or I got burnt with AI, and I'll elaborate on that a little bit. The confusion of where to start, it was basically paralysis by analysis. There was so much information, so much research. Where do we start dipping our toe into this? Because we really have no on-hand expertise, no on-board expertise to evaluate this. The other side of that coin was the one where we've tried implementing an initiative. It was a complete failure. It was failure to launch. We were not prepared for it. And really, our partners are designed to make sure that you have the infrastructure access, you have access to the research talent that's there. Uh, Additionally, we want to make sure that the ecosystem and funding is available to you also. So we have options for you for that too. Uh, and specific industry applications, right? Like, what are you looking to achieve within your company? And I want to touch a little bit on that too. Uh, and at the end of it, Alejandro, I think what's really important is we are accredited, we are certified. This program is an upskilling program, but it is also a recognized program. So I think that's incredibly important from an aspect of the academia side, right? When it comes to what we're doing, we want to make sure that it is result driven, and we've also relied on a lot of the experts when it comes down to designing the curriculum itself too, right? And when we talk about the curriculum, I think one of the aspects that I personally want to touch on is really the beginning of that journey. Those fundamentals. When you call it the fundamental pillar, we want to make sure that we meet our customer where they are. If you're at the beginning of this, our clients, we will make sure that we meet you there. And the education piece, I believe, is incredibly important because there is a lot of individuals who can benefit from the upscaling side, right? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the fundamentals, Alejandro, when it comes to this, and then I could sort of like dive into the specifics of this for our participants here.
Yeah, of course, the fundamentals is where we want to help the decision makers to come to an understanding of where AI is at right now, in the context where they are in their processes and their operations. So for the fundamentals, if you're speaking about the competency that they will be developing throughout the program, of course, it has to do with helping them on having this change of the culture of the organization that needs to change, which is a transformation. They will go through this program, having a culture that's more AI driven, having a change of management of the change, of course, and then also they will learn how to build a team that's around the using the tools of AI. But especially, this is not for decision makers to become experts in algorithms and machine learning and all that stuff. No, this is not about it. This is just about to handle the skills, about how to understanding how I can leverage this within the operations of the company, and being able to supervise, or at least to manage the project for the high level overview while their team is in charge of developing. Of course, they need to develop certain skills, develop the foundations of the knowledge of what are the tools that are out there, how they can be leveraged within the context of their operations, and so on. Things more like the ethics, the implementation, the literacy they need to learn about it.
Absolutely. And I really want to touch on something that you mentioned in regards to uh, the literacy of it. All right. We do see a lot of senior leadership who are focused on really steering the directions of the companies within manufacturing, wanting to apply those. I would say the middle management literacy. All right. Our program and this competency pillar is designed to start focusing uniquely on those specific needs. So really, to understand the AI concepts and take those strategies, bring them back into alignment within your own organization, and start that implementation process, right? An implementation process also has a validation, right? You need to build out the solution and figure out really where your low lying fruit is. Is it ERP? Is it process automation? Is it logistics that you're looking for, right? Is it responding to your end vendors to make sure that supplies and stocks stay active, right? And there are in transit and there's no sort of like empty shelves at the same time. With the project management, uh, there's lots of project managers out there. A lot of companies have project managers, uh, but it is built on the fact that this is an AI initiative with the technical aspects of what you're looking for. Like, is your company prepared to onboard this project? And this is where uh, we want to make sure that the other flip side of the coin for those companies who have actually got burnt by this before, that they have their best chance at succeeding. One of the key aspects that I've learned throughout my tenures at different companies is that building a team and having a team that is aligned, focused, and driven by the same vision is incredibly important. And this is something that our education and foundation pillar really focuses on. Those internal champions who are going to be able to move the needle along and make sure that those milestones are hit. And I'll touch on why I'm saying milestones in regards to this implementation. And of course, is your company ready for that transformation? Is your culture ready for it? Have you addressed those resistances? I think that's something that's very important. Alejandro, you and I were talking about this
Mm.
before in regards to the resistances that we face within a traditional industry such as manufacturing. I think it's okay. So we touch on a couple of those when we're talking about this, right? If you can give us a couple of examples.
Yes, of course. And Livia, one of the things that we need to understand also is that resistance don't come just from the desire of not doing anything. It's just because, of course, decision makers, whether they are owners, whether they are the people that's making decisions on the floor of operation, they want the best to do their best. They want to utilize the things that are the best. It's just that they need the tools in order to understand how to implement them, and that's how the program helps them. On resistance, of course, we talked to several people in companies throughout the past 10 years, and there were occasions in which one of the employees, not one of those making decisions, were interested into deploying AI projects within their operations. And it was a person that's very eager to utilize the technology. And every time that he knocked at the door of the managers because he wanted to implement the question were like, okay, like a bunch of questions around the same subject, and even though they were having the answers that why to use it, this is technology where to use, etc. Well, they still had the lack of skills in order to move forward with it. But like I said, it is just like the lack of understanding of the tools and how to leverage them, because they will not be the ones deploying the technology, but they will be well aware of how to leverage it and how to oversee what their employees are working on.
Absolutely. And I think I want to touch on what you said in regards to that aspect of I want to understand this more. I don't have visibility into it. I don't see how it could help us out. It'll be a big investment. If we're doing well right now, why should we change, right? That resistance to change that we see specifically in the manufacturing industry. And really some of those aspects are like, is AI going to replace my job, right? Is it going to take my job away? And what we see more often than not is the fact that it allows individuals to focus and companies to focus on what they do best and provide them with more of that aspect of visibility into their ERP, into their logistics, right? And with that, our goal for our specific adoption program is to really dig down, provide those KPIs, make them visible, and make them relevant to each specific company. And I want to go through the program a little bit so you can see what the program looks like on a week by week basis. And with that, we can talk in regards to really the AI fundamentals of the strategic vision for what we're actually putting together. Uh, it allows the individuals who are actually participating here to start identifying where those gaps are within their company. All right. It allows them to really align on a vision and map out those values and those metrics that they're looking for when it comes to building those competencies and building that strategic fundamental roadmap. Our goal is to also provide insight, coaching, and guidance. So during this period, there is one-on-one industry expert learning, guidance, and coaching that we provide as part of this. So what it does is it really keeps the participants on track to go back to really make sure that they're relating a lot of the information that is relevant to their specific companies themselves. Okay.
Mhm.
Also, one of the aspects is the blueprint, right? You want to make sure that the blueprint that you're putting together is relevant. It ties back into the KPIs and there's buy-in on there. And our ability to have coaches, have the experience there within your company, uh, make sure that that stays as a value add to it. So with that in mind, the fundamental pillar that starts off with the education piece is also incredibly solution based and customizable to the participant and for them to take it back to their specific companies to get those achievables in there. What we've actually found out is that most of the conversations that we have, they have an idea, they know where they're looking to implement AI, they just don't know how AI is really going to actually figure that out for them. We've also found out that companies have massive amounts of data, all right? Data that they've collected from their logistics, from their inventories, from their HR departments, from their finance departments, all of these data points that no one's actually, they don't have the expertise on hand to start pulling relatable, actionable insight from this data. And this is where we can actually help and our experts can help when it comes to the manufacturing industry and these decision makers. I'm going to take a quick pause there. All right. I'm going to pass it back to Alejandro if he has anything to add around sort of like the first pillar of the onboarding program for this.
I think that you already covered most of the things that are being covered throughout the first phase. I would just have to add and perhaps also over stress a couple of things. First, this program is conceived to last for about 8 weeks. It is conceived for people that's tremendously busy and is very, very practical. So, although, of course, we need to build on the foundations of the knowledge that the person comes with and to be sure that we're on the same page, because based on that foundation of information, the person will be working towards two outcomes out of the program that we will speak about in a few minutes. But it's important to understand also that although there is this specific part that is general to everybody, this program is really individualized because it's going to be very tailored to the needs of your company and of your operations, and everything that you will see, you will be able to relate it to what you're doing and working on your on the day-to-day basis. And of course, because throughout the whole program you will be accompanied, and this is a mentorship that is one-on-one, that will help you on landing the knowledge that you are getting into real action. And this is the two things that I wanted to highlight, to add to what it was already said, Livio.
Absolutely. And that sort of leads us into the second phase. And the second phase is really defining, designing, and potentially even making changes to the AI solution that you're implementing. And I think this is where the one-on-one coaching, the one-on-one guidance really kicks off, right? After you develop your AI adoption blueprint, uh, you need validation points, right? Like, is it, you go back to your company, you're validating that this is where we're looking to implement this solution. You come back to our experts, and I want to take a little side pause here when it comes to talking about our experts. Uh, Alejandro mentioned the customizable and solution based approach that we're taking here. Our goal is to make sure that when we are pairing you up with these coaches, with these mentors, with these individuals that have experience, the experience is relative within the industry that you're working with and specifically around what you are looking for those outcomes to be. All right. So they have experienced this before, they have done it before, they have seen it successfully implemented. And that gives you the highest percentage for this to actually convert into not just an initiative that is something that takes place over 6 months and it's done. It's something that is implemented into your core operational roadmap that constantly yields results, right? And our goal is to not just be there for you for the part of the implementation. We're there to test, to get feedback, to make sure that we finalize the strategy and that the strategy that you've come up with from the beginning to end, we see it into the actual roadmap and the adoption itself that is taking place within your company. So I think that that's very important when we're talking about the application itself. All right. And at the end of the day, we want to make sure that there is successful outcomes. So I'd love to talk a little bit, Alejandro, about the outcomes that we're looking for specifically from our adoption program.
Yeah, I'm really eager to discuss this part because is I think that this is the core of the program of why it's going to be really useful for those who participate. Before jumping into that review, I think that it would be really also good to mention that those people, that those experts that will accompany, that will mentor the participants are AI experts that have worked in industry. So it's people who understand what the manufacturers are going through, whether it's logistics, whether it's production, whether it's quality assurance. This is people who has already experience in the industry, and they will be able to understand your needs and understand what are the requirements that you have and all the processes when you talk to them. And so they will be able to guide you the best possible in order to have this good outcomes that you always spoke about. This network of contacts come from one of our partners that we have, which is the Apply AI Institute from Concordia. They will be, these are our key partners in order to provide with this expertise that will accompany the participants. Now, let's talk about the outcomes, Livio. Let us show the next slide because it's the one that it speaks about. So I don't know if you want me to talk about it or you want to speak about these two outcomes that we want out of.
Yeah, absolutely. I can jump in here when it comes to the outcomes. We can start at the end. We're empowering leaders with actionable AI roadmaps, but really, what I want everyone to focus on is turning strategy into action, into those key measurable outcomes that your company is looking for. So with that, uh, this is where the alignment process starts from day one. All right. We need to make sure that the guidance that we're providing and the feedback that we have from the participants tie back into them taking it back home. So, what do I mean by taking it back home? When they take it back to their teams, when they've organized their teams and they set it up, we need to make sure that there is a constant feedback loop, that this is valuable to their organization. This is the key KPIs that they're looking to accomplish there. And really, with phase one, as I mentioned before, we're building out and making you ready internally, not only from a management side, but from a team side and from the cultural adoption and change side. We're making sure that you are prepped for this. As I mentioned before, some companies don't know where to start. Others have started and really sort of like lost their direction and have failed with these AI initiatives. And we've talked to both sides of that perspective. And we realize that we need to meet our clients where they are. So our holistic approach to this adoption program starts with phase one. Phase two really defines that vision. And we start testing out how to apply your solution within your specific company. And the outcomes, we want to make sure that leadership and the individuals who are going to be championing this are aligned on that vision. The last thing that we want is uh, a champion really believing that that is the direction where we're going, and senior leadership is not aligned on those outcomes themselves too. All right. One of the aspects that is always going to derail a project is when the vision is not uniform. And that is why we make sure that each step of the way there is a validation process itself too. Now, we've talked about the program. We've talked about the key initiatives, the foundation pillar, the guided implementation. I think we need to touch on at the end of this, really, where does it go from there? And our goal is to make sure that we are your turnkey solution, your one-stop shop. So we're not here to just be part of this program and then set you on the way. The ecosystem, the partners that we've built uh, around us allows us to continue the relationship and continue your project. A lot of what manufacturers do is they build their projects around relationships, and we want to be there, give you visibility into what we do. But as your AI project moves along and you're looking for resources for validation, resources for professional services, hiring individual, our goal is to grow along with you for that. And I think, Alejandro, one of the aspects that we want to sort of touch on, part of our ecosystem, part of our partnership program, is the ability to help these particular clients that are coming in with some financial help, right? If you can talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So that's why I came back to this slide where we kind of show who are, as of right now, part of this ecosystem, and also what are the kind of things or support that the participant will have access to when they join the program. So one of the things that we need to consider is that at the end of the 8 weeks, there's two options for the participants. One option is going to be that they are really fully prepared because they already have internal resources, and for what they want to implement, they're ready to go. So we're still here to support, continue supporting you, depending on what your needs are at that time. But in other cases, there are some of these participants. And when I say participants, I mentioned the individuals, of course, but then it's the whole company. And sometimes those projects that they will come up with throughout these 8 weeks, they will need some talent to bring on board. They will need some funding in order to implement projects that are bigger. than require either funds, either instruments, devices, etc., etc. So that's why we surrounded ourselves with partners such as Digital, such as Engine, because and all other organizations that are there in order to support you in the implementation of AI throughout the operation. So when you join the organization, so through Volume Edge, you will have access to, or you will be prepared in order to go look for the funds that you need, whether those are infrastructure that you need, access to infrastructure, whether that's funding, whether that's talent, whether that is researchers, like everything is going to be at your hand, available when you are finished these 8 weeks of program.
Absolutely. And our goal is continued support. Our goal is to make sure that when we're providing this adoption program, this learning and enablement program, is that you upskill your internal individuals. And if the internal individuals have the capability to move your AI project along in the direction that you've designed, you've validated, and you've gotten validation for, that's fantastic. If you're looking for those additional resources, we have the ability to put you in touch with any of those professional services, be it from individuals specifically around building those algorithms, selling those pre-trained models themselves too. So we will evolve with you and meet you at the step of where you are at right now. And I think one of the aspects that I want to talk about really is that learning and enablement piece. A lot of what we're doing here is to make sure that specifically the Canadian manufacturing industry is really upscaled. We're seeing that there is a big appetite for individuals within these companies to be upscaled and really brought to the forefront of the AI adoption. Our current situation with our neighbors is really bringing the focus back to Canada, back to our own proprietary algorithms, making sure that we invest in assets like building new data centers where we can house our AI models, and to make sure we really galvanize ourselves with it. So we see that, we understand it, we're responding to it, and we want to make sure that we are part of that journey for these manufacturing companies. And I
Yeah, I
think,
think
yeah, go ahead, Alejandro.
I love how we were synchronized with the same expression. I believe that we already covered the all of the aspects of the program, from the content to the support to the whole ecosystem that will support the participants. Is there anything else that we are missing at this stage, Liviu, or also people who is there in the conversation? Feel free to type on the chat box if there is something else that we haven't covered so far, and that you want us to answer.
I think we've covered pretty much the major topics. I am keeping an eye on the chat itself. I'm seeing an article that is being posted with some pretty heavy validation about what we are talking about. With Canada, risk avert business is slouching towards AI, and that is something that we've seen for quite some time now. Uh, there is uh, there is a need out there. It's genuine and it's absolutely out there when it comes to what we're looking to do. I think we're not the only ones seeing it. I think there's going to be a lot of visibility from the Canadian government and specifically the manufacturing sector of getting up to speed to what they're trying to do
Yeah.
around AI models and implementing those into it.
So, Livio, if you like, let's see if anyone has a question. I'm opening the camera, so feel free that if you have a
Yeah,
question that you want
I do
to.
see some questions, Alejandro. So I do see a
Yes.
question about the program being offered online. Yes, the program is offered online. It is AI models. One of the aspects we realize is that professional individuals or even C-suite, they're working a lot of hours. So we've designed it for it to be involved in around 8 hours per week for the online models, and same thing for the second phase of it. So yes, it is a remote program that it can be achieved. The emphasis that I want to put on constantly is when the interaction is taking place with those industry experts, the coaching. That is I would say that that is where you should be putting in a lot of the effort and making sure that you're attending those.
Yes, and it was especially conceived because the program is offered to manufacturers across the country. One of the other questions has to do with the flexibility of the time. So the way how this is built, it allows you to join the content and to join the experts at the most convenient time, because this is really individualized, and you will be paired with the expert that has the expertise and the knowledge of the industry where you are work on the vertical where you are exactly from, or close to where you are, where your company is. And you'll be able to schedule the calls according to the agenda that best fits both of you.
Absolutely. I think Nia has a question in regards to Shred. We've actually built and gotten pre-qualification from additional resources, Nia. What we will do is we will get in contact with you specifically to just book a call so we can get into those specific details. But even yesterday, we were on a call with a third party that will potentially help us navigate those waters for you. So stay in touch. We will absolutely be in touch to book a meeting there. I do see another
There,
question in regards to the program being offered to non-Canadian manufacturers from Ahmed. Currently, right now, the program is offered strictly in Canada and is focused on the Canadian industry. There is plans to broaden the actual plan out itself, from my understanding. Uh, Stay in touch. We will make sure to sort of provide you with a roadmap and a timeline for that.
yeah, there is also a question about, is the program cost the same if we have international participants? There are some questions that it would be good for you to contact us directly, because it depends on certain criteria, and we need to analyze before saying yes or no. It depends on whether companies here, internationals, their input is going to have any implication with the operations here. So if you can, we will be sharing some information later after with the people who sign up for this info session. You'll have there the information. It might be just a recording of this information so you can look at it again. We'll share also some other assets for you to understand better the program. And of course, you'll have there our email addresses and our booking links also, so you can book a meeting with Liviu or with myself, and then we can see at the detail what is your specific case, so we can answer better to that question.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that seamlessly transitions us into our last slide in regards to how to actually get in contact with us. You have my email there. I added it to the chat. Feel free. If you are looking to send me questions, comments, or anything around that line that you need specifications around the program, please feel free to send me a quick email. We could even book some time, have a much more specific conversation about what you're doing. But Alejandro, where can they potentially sign up for the program or get in touch with us? I know that we have a specific slide around that.
Oh yeah, thank you for mentioning it. Actually, this is the next session starts in September the 15th. There is a registration form that is already open. Feel free just to visit the website that's there, bolnewedge.com, AI for decision makers, or just scan the code, the QR code that's on screen right now. That is going to lead you directly to the application form. It doesn't take very long to do the application form. It takes about 30 seconds to fill it out, to complete it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for joining. We appreciated your time. We appreciated the questions. As Alejandra and I mentioned, if you do have any specific questions around your specific application or taking part in the program itself, feel free to reach out to us. The registration page is open for you to participate in the program itself. Additionally, we will be following up with the presentation that we had today, with the slides themselves for you. And of course, we will be looking to get in contact with the rest of you, potentially, hopefully connect over LinkedIn so we can broaden out our networks themselves. Alejandro, passing it over to you.
Yeah, chances are, I'm looking at my screen, seeing if there is a question that is kept our view, and chances are that some of those I cannot see. So if that happens, we'll review when we finish this. We'll review all of the questions, and we will reach back to you just to answer those questions. There is also in the page of the program, there is also a link to the most frequent asked questions, where you can also get many answers to many of the questions that you may have. Also, an apology. I tried to open the camera and the microphone for everybody, so we could jump on a real conversation between all of us. But since we set it up at the beginning in a certain way, it seems that it's not allowing me to unblock you. That say, leave you. We will host most of these meetings, if we can call it that way, in order to discuss about the program. Of course, there are certain things that we will continue repeating, but for other things, there's also we will be adding more details as we continue getting here, and perhaps we will be inviting our partners as well in order to give you more information about themselves and about how they will be supporting you. So we'll keep you informed on those.
Absolutely. The goal is to make sure that we are coming to market with insight, that these information sessions are valuable for you and you get a takeaway out of it. So be on the lookout. We will be starting to release these on a regular cadence. In regards to who's going to be invited to it, we're still figuring that out. The goal is to just make sure that there is visibility within the manufacturing industry and there is value that we're driving from our conversations and insight we're providing to you for attending.
A quick question, somebody. Is this program offered in French? The answer is yes. The experts that will be accompanying you, they are fully bilingual. And also the content of the program will be offered in that language as well. Okay, if I see no other questions, then I think that we thank everybody for being here. Hope that you walk out of this meeting with the information you needed. If there's something left, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And if you feel ready, just go there to the QR code, scan it, and in 30 seconds you will be registered.
Thank you so much, Alejandro, and everybody else. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, have a nice one.